I think one of the things that people struggle with is actually being very real with themselves. The difference between the difference between understanding who you are versus who you wish you were. And I think that's something that I'm always very fascinated by when I have a meeting like this. Like, what kind of read do you have on yourself? And how, I think I would struggle a lot if I didn't really genuinely know who I was. And then once you know who you are, you get more comfortable with what you're up to. So if I asked you right now, and I think it ebbs and flows when you're 28, when you're 32, when you're 57, if I asked you right this second, what do you want to happen, and what would you say?
What do I want to happen? I want to have a life where I'm able to create with fun, create with the team. I want to put out content that affects people's lives for the better in terms of helping them feel good or better about themselves and their relationships and cultivating relationships that are meaningful. I want to travel with my man and have property, international property, and travel for fun, also for play, and also a little bit of time for work, but controlling and maneuvering life with ease and also impacting people for the better in the process.
What are you hoping, as you're rolling up to this office, what are you hoping for?
You know what?
For real, by the way.
Yeah, for real. I mean, there are shit that I do not know. So I honestly just want to pick your brain about a couple of key things. And I guess really ideally what I was hoping and what I expected, to get in a place where I know you and I could
hit me up. Start the process of building a relationship.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with this. If you want to, listening to what you said, the first thing I will tell you, the best thing I think the first best thing I can tell you is don't front. The number one mistake that people that aspire to the sentences that you just spit out of your mouth, the number one mistake they make is they try to oversell themselves because they think they need it to have people's attention. Let me give you an example. Whether it's life coach, inspirational figure, business coach, whatever form it takes, I think it's much smarter for you to talk to the world about your process of going through this than the advice that you think you should be giving them.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And that's where people are struggling. I got real lucky. I've never said this, D-Rock, so pay real close fucking attention. I'm not sure that if the internet was around in its current form, that I would be as successful, because at 22 and 23, I knew I was special, and I might have not been patient enough to first build a business, first get experience. I didn't start talking to the world until I was 35. And I love to say to you, be patient, to you to be patient. Do you know I was a businessman in a world where going to smart colleges was the only thing that mattered for businessmen? You were only a good businessman if you went to Harvard Business School. And then I reversed it. I'm a DNF student. I curse, I don't dress the part. I do me, and then you know what happened? The world came to me. And so I would tell you that the best thing that you're gonna walk out of here with is something that took me a long time to really realize, is if you wanna pull this off and you want people listening to you, there's only one thing, the truth. Everybody says that fucking cliche term.
Just be yourself and all that shit.
It's unbelievable how much that's the reason I'm winning. And I think it's easier when you have a level of success, and it's harder when you're climbing up the ladder. But I think that there's a lot of people who, if they talked about the journey of the climb, could win. I think it's the best piece of advice I can give right now to a bunch of 20 to 30-year-olds that feel that they should be talking to the world and bringing value. Talk about your journey of trying to find that voice and synthesize it properly. Because the problem is a 30, 40, 50-year-old listening to your 1-minute rant video on Instagram, even if it's powerful, there's a level of cynicism of well, what do you know?
Yeah.
And I think that that's fair. And look, you could just be a whiz kid about the world, and that exists, but I do think there's a smarter way to context it. You know, it's like starting the sentence of you should versus, you know, it's funny, right now I can say you should because I built so much. But if I was at 20, it needed to be like, my intuition says, and that changes everything. Or when I look at, or when I met with Gary today, the takeaway I got was, got it?